But then I suppose, okay, I feel like I've hit this brick wall. I keep seeing the same things happening. I'm forgetting things. And someone's mentioned to me that I think you may have ADHD. So I am now looking into getting a diagnosis. How or what do I do to do that? Like, what do I do now?
Okay. So if you're looking to get a diagnosis, first of all, you might want to understand what are the symptoms exactly look like,
Yeah.
and do you resonate with them?
So how do I do that? Because
So
there's so much information on
there
the
is a
internet.
lot. There is.
So how do I do that?
So on my website, I have an online screening test there.
Okay.
So it's a simple screening test. It's a tick box.
So what is a screening test?
So a screening test, it doesn't give you a diagnosis,
Okay.
but it asks you certain questions
Yeah.
where if you score highly for, meaning you've ticked often or very often, for example, in terms of your experience of those symptoms, would give you an indicator whether you should actually go for a formal ADHD assessment.
Okay.
Yeah. And that screening test that I use on my website is quite a well-known screening tool that's
Okay.
used. Yeah. So it's not something that I've just come up with myself. So if you do screen for positive for showing that you might have symptoms suggestive of ADHD and you should have a thorough assessment, you can then book online on that website for an assessment with myself.
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, you can go in directly see a psychiatrist privately
Okay.
for a diagnostic assessment. If you're going through the NHS, you'd have to speak with your GP,
Okay.
and your GP would refer you to your local NHS ADHD service.
Okay. So say if I've got I've had the referral and I'm sitting in front of someone and they are now diagnosing me, what's the process? What is the process of diagnosis?
Yeah. So the typical process that I use, for example, and this is fairly commonly used among psychiatrists, is I would send you some pre-assessment forms
Yeah.
initially. So a few of those forms would be forms that you have to fill out yourself.
Yeah.
So one of those forms will be a list of potential ADHD symptoms,
Okay.
and I would score those. One of those forms would be anxiety and depression scales, because we do, as I said, commonly see anxiety and depression in ADHD.
Okay.
So I'd want to know if you're suffering from that, and if so, how high or how severe is that, because it gives me an idea of what I'm managing when I see you.
Yeah.
One of those forms will be a screening form for autism, because we certainly see a proportion of ADHD patients who also may have traits of autism as well.
Yeah.
And I would discuss that in our consultation. Another form will be about impact on functioning, so I can understand which areas of life are impacted for you and how I best manage those.
Okay.
And then a final form will be called an informant report, where I would need two people or one person even to do two forms based on your symptoms as a child and your symptoms as an adult.
Okay. So once you have all of that information, we go through a thorough assessment, then you'll be able to tell me whether I have ADHD or not.
Yes.
And you'll be able to tell me what type of ADHD I have.
Yes.
But what happens after that? What happens after diagnosis?
Well, just on that note, it wouldn't just be telling you whether you have ADHD or not and what type. It's also about, I would do a general psychiatric history.
Okay. What's that?
So a general psychiatric history is asking about other symptoms that might look like ADHD.
Okay.
Right? Or other symptoms that we sometimes see that go hand in hand with ADHD. Right? So we would be screening out for other conditions like bipolar disorder,
Okay.
other mood disorders, personality issues, trauma,